Learning is an individual phenomenon. Studying any piece of information largely depends on you as an individual. That comprehending an idea or an information solely depends on the individual. So it is with passing of exams. Passing of exams greatly depends on you as an individual. Are you having issues with how to pass all exams at the tertiary level, at the second cycle institution, or any level of your education? Then relax as I present to you the principles that will aid you in passing all exams with an ease. The first principle that will aid you in passing your exams with an ease is how to study with your own potential. How to study with your own potential, this has been one of the study I have undertaken for several years. And from interviewing people and then information, the feedback I get from people shows that as an individual, you can study anything with your potential. Something I've observed about students is that they try to copy what their friends are doing. They try to do them to learn or study the way their friends study. The first key in studying everything and understand is knowing yourself. How many hours do you need to comprehend a piece of information? It largely depends on you as an individual. Some people will take 2 hours to cover a page, some may take an hour. Know yourself. People follow their friends to the lecture theater, to the classrooms to go and study. They go sometimes spend the night at the mercy of mosquitoes. Do you spend few time to grab the concept? Do you need someone to explain it to you? Do you need a group studies to comprehend that information? So the first principle under how to study by yourself or your potential is what? Know yourself. Don't follow your friends because their way of studying is different from yours. The second item that comes under how to study is you being disciplined. A colleague who had a first class told me that he has to plan his studies. So he knows that an average student is supposed to sleep for 6 hours, at least 3 hours for other stuff. Maybe you'll be going for lectures for 9 hours, and then you try to attribute the rest of the hours for a course, maybe a day or two courses a day or one course a day. And he tries to be persistent and consistent with it. I urge you today to be disciplined with your plans. Know what works best for you. Sometimes you may not follow the timetable judiciously, but know what works best for you. So be disciplined. If you take your book, don't be distracted by any destructive materials. Your phones, your laptops, anything that would distract your studies, try to do away with them. With that, it will help you to study anything you want to study with your own potentials and with your own capabilities and capacities. Now, knowing how to study, how do you recall that information? How do you recall what you have learned? How do you remember what you have learned? I present to you the ways that will aid you to recollect, to remember all that you have learned. One CEO of Bank of America, Brian, said, your success largely depends on the amount of information you can process at a time. So it is very important to remember what you have learned to be able to be successful in your exams. Remember, you can spend the whole night on your books. You can spend the whole week, the whole month on your books, but if you forget, if you don't have the information that you are required to provide in the exam situation, you are totally wrong. One basic thing that prevents most students in fact, even the adult, from remembering what they have learned is immediately visiting an entertaining item after studies. Some people, right after studies, their next thing they do is visiting the social media, watching status, watching funny things to entertain them. Please, you will forget everything you've learned. You cannot recall even one. So after studies, try to have 30 minutes, 1 hour relaxation, trying to go over what you've learned before visiting entertaining materials. So that's one way of remembering what you have learned. Another way that can help you to remember all that you have learned is avoiding what you call rote learning, locally known as chew and then pour. Understand the concept, understand the principle. It will help you in recollecting all that you have learned. It will provide a means of retentive memory for you when you understand the concept and the principles under any topic. Recollecting what you have learned will help you. The next one is establishing relationship from one topic to the other. It will help you in understanding and remembering all that you have learned. So how to recall what you have learned is very, very pertinent when it comes to passing of exams. Knowing yourself, be disciplined, do away with distractive materials, and then plan your studies, plan it. And then what you can do to recall. The next thing that will aid you in passing all exams is having confidence in yourself. No amount of complications, hurdles, predicaments should give you any form of fear when entering the exams hall. You can do it, you can pass it when you have the confidence that you can do it. The confidence level will come from when you have the information to succeed. So remember that all the principles, one way or the other, will help you or will aid you in passing your exams. It's not too late. Even if you have 2 weeks to start at exams, you have 1 week to start at exams. If you put this into practice, it will help you in passing your exams. So when you put all this into practice, it will help you in passing your exams with an ease. Thank you.